नमस्ते आप सभी को जो आज हमारे साथ जुड़ रहे हैं। मेरा नाम वानी मनोराज है एंड ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ चेतना कॉन्शियस ऑफ वुमेन आज के सेशन को मैं मॉडरेट करूंगी। आज के सेशन में हम अब हमारे पैनलिस्ट के साथ डिस्कस करेंगे अडॉप्शन पे। अडॉप्शन जो जुवेनाइल जस्टिस एक्ट के अंदर जो लीगल फ्रेमवर्क है अडॉप्शन का एंड उसका प्रोसीजर क्या है, एज वेल एज हम डिस्कस करेंगे जो प्रोस्पेक्टिव पेरेंट्स होते हैं उनके इश्यूज एंड उनके चैलेंजेस को। Before हम शुरू करें, I would like to introduce Chetna. Chetna was founded by Mrs. Pragya Parande, who is currently the member of National Commission for Protection of Child Rights. Chetna was started with the mission to empower and enable women to become positive change agents in society. जो हमारा ये सीरीज ऑफ वेबिनार्स हम कर रहे हैं, ये प्रज्ञा मैम ने एनविजन किया है और उनकी गाइडेंस के अंदर ही हम ये प्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं। चेतना के जो प्रोग्राम्स हैं वो 5 वर्टिकल्स के अंदर हम प्रोग्राम्स करते हैं एंड जो हमारे प्रोग्राम है वो सभी यूनाइटेड नेशन सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स को अचीव करने में मदद करते हैं। अगर आपको हमारे काम के बारे में और जानकारी चाहिए तो आप हमें फेसबुक या इंस्टाग्राम पे फॉलो कर सकते हैं। आप हमारे काम में हमें सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं, आप अपना योगदान दे सकते हैं बाय डोनेटिंग टू चेतना। वो इंफॉर्मेशन आपकी स्क्रीन पे अभी अवेलेबल है, आप हमें बैंक ट्रांसफर कर सकते हैं। आज हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं बहुत ही एक्सपीरियंस पैनलिस्ट जो अडॉप्शन पे काफ़ी काम कर चुके हैं। हमारे साथ है ममता सहायमा। She is a social worker and currently a member of the Juvenile Justice Board and founder of Savera NGO. She is an ex-member of the Delhi State Commission for Protection of Child Rights and ex-chairperson of Child Welfare Committee. We have with us Dr. Indu Arneja ma'am. Ma'am is a psychologist and a mental health expert. She is the director of Indian Institute of Healthcare Communication. She was associated with Matruchaya adoption centers where she conducted counseling and assessments in 1,000+ adoption cases. We also have with us Dr. Daksha Sharma. Ma'am is a lawyer and a visiting faculty at Indian Law Institute, and she's also an author. She completed her PhD in the topic Streamlining the Process of Inter-Country Adoption in India, a Critical Study. Thank you so much to our panelists for joining us today. दक्षा मैम, मेरा पहला सवाल आपसे होगा। मैम अगर आप हमें बता सकें कि कौन किसको अडॉप्ट किया जाता है एंड लॉज कौन से हैं जो अडॉप्शन को रेगुलेट करते हैं हमारे देश में।
In India, we have 2 legislations which are dealing with adoption laws. The first one is Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act 1956, and the second one is, as you have said, Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act 2015. So both these legislations cover the laws relating to adoption in India. So first we will see the provisions in Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act 1956. The first one is section 5 to section 17 deals with adoption process. The first one says, section 5, that if adoption is in contravention with these provisions, then it will not be considered as a valid adoption. The second provision, section 6, mentions the requisites of a valid adoption. Section 7 mentions the capacity of a male Hindu to take an adoption. So any Hindu who is major and is of sound mind can take an adoption, provided if he is married, then he has to take the consent of his wife. Similarly, we have after the enactment of Personal Law Amendment Act 2010, the position with respect to capacity of a female Hindu has been changed. Now married women can also adopt a child, save with the consent of husband. Then we have persons capable of giving adoption. So we see there are 3 categories of persons. First one is father, second mother, and third one is guardian. So father and mother have the equal right to give their child in adoption, save with the consent of each other, and guardian can give the child in adoption provided prior permission of the court is taken. Then comes section 10, persons who may be adopted. So under this, a child who is not older than 15 years of age can be adopted under Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act. He should not be married, and if there are some customs prevailing in the community wherein married child can also be adopted by the parents. So these are the conditions which are provided by Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act. Apart from that, there are certain other conditions, as already discussed, that like valid adoption. Once adoption is made, it cannot be cancelled by the parties. Then there is age criteria, age limit given by the Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act. There should be age difference of 21 years between the adoptive parent and the adoptive child. Then there is section 17 mentions a very important provisions which says that there is prohibition of certain payments, that no payment should be given or taken in cases relating to adoption. So these are some of the important provisions which are covered under Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act 1956. Now we come to Adoption under Juvenile Justice, Care and Protection of Children Act 2015. So under this, there are two categories. The first one is in-country adoption and the second one is inter-country adoption. So in-country adoption refers to those adoptions which are happening within the country, and it is governed by personal laws of the respective parties. But after the enactment of JJ Act 2015, the laws have been made very stringent, and laws are very streamlined for the purpose of adoption by people of other religions. Then we have inter-country adoption. In this, two important aspects should be kept in mind. First one is, in such adoptions, foreign parents belong to another country and their habitual residence is different. So their nationality is different and their habitual residence is different. So it considers the cases of adoption of a child by a person of another country, and it is governed by Hague Convention on Protection of Children and Cooperation in Respect of Inter-Country Adoption 1993. So this answers the question.
Thank you so much, ma'am. मैम ममता मैम, मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूँगी, जो जुवेनाइल जस्टिस एक्ट में जब अडॉप्शन का कंसल्टेशन हो रहा था एंड दैट वाज बीइंग इंक्लूडेड, यू वेर पार्ट ऑफ दैट कंसल्टेशन प्रोसेस. तो मैम अगर आप अपना एक्सपीरियंस हमें बता सकें कि उस समय ये क्यों नीड लगी कि जुवेनाइल जस्टिस एक्ट के अंदर ये अडॉप्शन प्रोसेस जो है इसको चेंज करना चाहिए, एंड वो आपका एक्सपीरियंस कैसा रहा?
Vani, thank you for inviting me here today, and it's indeed a great pleasure to be here with the esteemed panelists. Actually, when we saw that Section 41 of the previous Act was being amended, and amended in the sense it was being strengthened, because since Juvenile Justice Act is a secular law for adoption, as Daksha ji has also said. So there were many issues which were coming related to adoptions. So I remember NALSA, National Legal Services Authority, was headed by Justice Altemus Kabir then. He proposed this, and in the NALSA office we used to meet, and there were all the judges like Justice Deepak Mishra, Justice Sikri, Justice Hema Kohli. And I used to wonder that, what will I contribute to this whole issue? And, I remember Altemus sir always telling me that, why are you looking so worried? So I said, sir, I don't know whether I can speak up in such an august gathering. Will I be allowed? So he says, absolutely, that's why you are here. So that was the beginning of it, and I was the chairperson of Child Welfare Committee, and all the chairpersons that time had been called in this discussion. So we got to know like different things in the Adoption Act which were lacking, like family has to be family responsibility is a very important aspect, which was somewhere not missing in Section 41, prior to when it was amended. So somewhere we had to see that when a child is surrendered, or you find a child on this, in a dustbin, or there was a child which was just left alone in one of the registered homes. And as you know, like there's a lot of illegal adoption too, which we are, now the law has become stringent. But prior to this, there was lots of that being done. So somewhere the need of amendment was there. And then there was also discrimination, somewhere they had to put in that it is if a married person adopts children, then how they do not have to discriminate between the other children they already have and the child which has been adopted. Then there was also a concern that why a girl child could be discriminated against a male child. So these things were also considered at that time. And moreover, the court insisted that the district court would be where the adoptions would take place. They emphasized on it again. Then there were actually there were many concerns during that time. You know how the law is, shall and may bhi farak ho jata hai, then you interpret it in a different kind of way. So we had to understand that why adoptions, and there were a lot of adoptive children who were being sent back for various reasons, like medical tests, how they should have been done, how adoption is final. After that, you cannot, till the child is actually into difficult circumstances with the adoptive parents, it cannot be finished by parents itself. It has to be, there has to be a certain process to that. So a lot of issues were there. So it was a great consultation, and we had some 15 meetings, if I remember correctly. And after that, and we side by side also made a special law for adoption. This was in 2011, if I remember correctly, which is still in the pipeline and has not, been hasn't seen the light of the day as yet. But I was very happy that Section 41 was actually, now you see that in the 2015 Act, adoption is a whole, it's a whole chapter in a sense. So we always felt that it was left very open-ended in the previous Act. So that was the reason we had to do it.
नहीं मैम, आपने जो इंसाइट दी है कि इट वाज अ वेरी लॉन्ग कंसल्टेशन एंड उसमें ग्रास रूट लेवल तक जो ओपिनियंस हैं उनको इंक्लूड किया गया इस कंसल्टेशन में. तो अडॉप्शन इज वेरी वो आसान लगता है कि एक माँ बाप बच्चे को अपने घर में अपने बच्चे की तरह मान रहे हैं, लेकिन इट इज अ वेरी कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रोसेस एंड उसके लिए सबकी आवाजें ली गई. ये बहुत अच्छा लगा सुन के मैम. दक्षा मैम, अगर आप हमें बता सकें, what is the process of adoption under Juvenile Justice Act?
So, as I've already discussed, there are two categories for adoption. First one is in-country adoption and the second one is inter-country adoption. And I would like to mention here that in Juvenile Justice Act 2015, for the first time, inter-country adoption has been introduced. So I'll begin with the in-country adoption. So it has been divided into three categories. The first one relates to OAS children, means orphan, abandoned and surrendered children. Second one is by relatives, adoption by relatives. And the third one is adoption by step parents. So this is the process, like I have made the slide, so it will be easier to understand. So first, for the process of adoption to begin, the child should be declared legally free for adoption under Section 38 of the JJ Act 2015. Then prospective adoptive parents should register online or CARINGS, which is Central Adoption Resource Information and Guidance System. They should upload their documents. Home study report should be conducted by specialized adoption agencies. Medical examination report and child study report should be uploaded by specialized adoption agencies. Then prospective adoptive parents are provided with the profile of children. So then matching of children with the parents occur, and subsequently they reserve the child within 48 hours. So then there is acceptance of child by PAPS, and they take the child in pre-adoption foster care, but this doesn't happen in all the cases. And then subsequently, petition is filed by specialized adoption agencies in the court, which is to be disposed of by the court within the given time frame. And then within 8 days, birth certificate is issued, and it is followed by post-adoption follow-up. So this is the case of in-country adoption of OAS children. Now we see in-country relative adoption. So under this, first is that the process remains the same, that prospective adoptive parents, they register themselves on Carings and upload their documents. Then there is verification by District Child Protection Unit and approval by State Adoption Resource Authority, and then filing of application in the court and obtaining court order by PAPS. So under Juvenile Justice Act, we see that adoption gets complete once there is court order. So that implies finality of adoption process. So next is adoption by step parent. Under this, permission from CWC, Child Welfare Committee, shall be obtained as per the schedule of Adoption Regulation 2017. Then there is uploading of documents of prospective adoptive parents in Carings and initial approval by CARA, and then filing of application and obtaining of court order by prospective adoptive parents. So now we see process of inter-country adoption of OAS children. So first one is counseling and preparation of home study report of PAPS by social worker of authorized foreign adoption agency or central authority or Indian mission. Then registration of PAPS in Carings by Indian mission or authorized foreign adoption agency or the central authority. Then there will be uploading of documents. After that, there will be initial approval by CARA. Then after this, there will be child. The process is same. The child matching will happen and acceptance by PAPS will occur. Then NOC, no objection certificate by CARA will be given. So after that, pre-adoption foster care only for few PAPS will be there. Subsequently, court order is issued and conformity certificate as per Hague Convention 1993 is provided. Then passport and exit visa facility for the children are taken care of. After that, child arrival and citizenship things can be looked at. Subsequently, there is post-adoption follow-up up till 2 years. So we see that here the important point to be noted is that post-adoption follow-up is only limited to 2 years. Monitoring is not after 2 years. So this is one of the critical analysis in my thesis. Then we see process of inter-country relative adoption. More or less, the process remains the same. Home study report and registration of PAPS, then uploading of documents in Carings by the authorized foreign adoption agency, central authority, or the Indian diplomatic mission. And then there is initial approval by CARA. After that, verification occurs by DCPU, District Child Protection Unit, and approval by SARA. Then filing of application in the court, obtaining court order by prospective adoptive parents, and then issue of NOC by CARA, then conformity certificate, passport and exit visa for the child is provided, and then the other issues relating to citizenship are sorted out, and then there is post-adoption follow-up for 2 years. So this is the process with respect to in-country adoption and inter-country adoption.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The process is, जैसे आपने बताया, काफी लेंदी प्रोसेस है एंड टाइम लगता है इसमें. इंदु, जब हम ऑप्शन के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं तो ये तो लीगल प्रोसेस हो गया, ये जो मैम ने, दक्षा मैम ने हमें समझाया है. लेकिन सबसे पहले होता है कि एक कपल को खुद कहना पड़ता है, या किसी इंसान को, या तो वो मेल हो या फीमेल, उन्हें खुद कहना पड़ता है कि हाँ हम अडॉप्ट करना चाहते हैं. एंड उसके बाद ऐसे कपल को या ऐसे इंसान को या पर्सन को कैसे पता चले कि एक सोच होती है उसको आगे करने का, जो आपको डिजायर चाहिए वो अलग होता है. तो हाउ डज अ कपल नो दैट दे आर रेडी फॉर अडॉप्शन? मैम,
थैंक यू वानी. Uh, See, the decision to adopt is not easy.
जी
Actually, parents, especially I'm talking about couple right now because that's the usual, recipient of the child. Of course, we have exceptions where single mother, single, father have adopted. But usually, when it's a married couple, a decision to adopt comes with a lot of efforts. It is not easy. I mean, first of all, one is not able to actually accept that I will not be able to biologically conceive. So that means there are a lot of emotional issues in the background which needs to be dealt with before you actually come to the decision that I need to adopt. And maybe one of the parent gets ready sooner than the other. So for both the couple to be on the same page, it might take one of the partner to take a lot of time to convince the other one to go for adoption. So people even view this as sometimes like, personal failure. Men sometimes may take it as a personal failure, or the woman might take it as a personal failure. Then also at times, if you are socially very well placed, so people may even say it as a social stigma or their social image being, getting affected. Sometimes even getting the consent of the family is not easy. The couple might get ready, especially if you look at the generation, today's generation, millennials, they might quickly get ready because when I was into, counseling the couples for adoption or assessment and counseling both, I used to do maybe 6 years ago. So I did get, sometimes single mother saying that I want to adopt. I'm not thinking of marriage, but I want to have a child. So for them, taking a decision is quicker, and sometimes even their family, easily gets ready to support them. But many a times the family is not okay with the idea because they still want to, say they still want the couple to try for their biological, child, because people have this feeling, no, having a biological child is, that is the real relationship. I mean, if I go by this old school of thought, then also there can be concerns like, will I be able to manage? Because having a child is not a small responsibility. You are taking a child and you are responsible for everything about the child. You have to see the child growing up day by day, and a time comes when the child is actually grown up, and all that is a lot of responsibility and sacrificing a lot of your own priorities to look after the child. So there can be questions like, will I be able to manage it? How will I be able to manage it? Or will the child bond well with us? Especially when you are going for adoption, you do not know the background of the child. So there can be a doubt, will I be able to bond well? Will the child bond well with me? Or will I be able to handle child's temperament? Will I be able to handle, child's issues? So there could be anything concern, like appearance can be a concern, color of the child can be a concern, sex of the child can be a concern. You may even have a thought of, lineage of the child, whose child he or she is. I mean, these are all the questions in the background. And what if I'm not able to manage? For example, I have adopted, but I'm not able to manage with the responsibility, with the existing responsibility. Or even there can be, financial constraints to, go for adoption, because after all, it's a responsibility that you're going for. And another very important question which parents may have in the background is, suppose if I have my biological child, and we have seen in number of cases, once they have adopted the child, in a day, in a year or so, or 2 years, they have their own biological child. So that question is not like a theoretical question or an imaginary question. That's a very true question. So I think once you have been able to address all these questions, once you have been able to find answers to these questions, then you may consider yourself ready for adoption. Because many times I see people coming for adoption without doing any homework. They are the one who probably face more challenges than those who have actually done their homework. So there are a lot of questions that I have put up here. There may be many more beyond it. What if my family does not support? What if my partner does not support? What if I get divorced tomorrow? What if I don't have any financial support tomorrow? So these are all the very real life questions. So once you have actually thrashed every aspect of adoption, like the challenges that you can have even with your biological child, I think then you can say, I am ready for adoption. So one has to really do a lot of homework before you think of adopting.
थैंक यू सो मच मैम। आपने जो बताया ये बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट है और महत्वपूर्ण इसलिए है क्योंकि बच्चे को अगर आप अपने घर में लाएंगे, उसे अपना मानेंगे, तो वो आसान तो है लेकिन वो बहुत कठिन भी होता है क्योंकि आपको बहुत कुछ सोचना पड़ता है। और अगर आप बिना सोचे समझे अडॉप्शन की ओर या अडॉप्शन के ऑप्शन को आप सोच रहे हैं, तो फिर आप कहीं बच्चे के साथ भी आप अनजस्ट हो रहे हैं क्योंकि वो बच्चा आपके पास आएगा, आप उसे अपना मानेंगे। तो ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि ये सारे जो सवाल हैं आप वो पहले ही आप काउंसलिंग करके आप इसके जवाब ढूंढें। जी मैम, थैंक यू मैम।
सबसे पहले जरूरी है कि पेरेंट्स पहले तो आपस में बात करें, खुल के बात करें, जो भी उनके कंसर्न्स हैं, जो भी डाउट्स हैं, जो भी उनके डायलेमास हैं, उसके बारे में जरूर बात करें। फिर उन पेरेंट्स के साथ बात करें जिन्होंने अडॉप्ट किया हुआ है, so that maybe there are questions that they don't know of, there are challenges they are not aware of. So if you don't know the problem, you don't know the solution. So why not talk to the parents who have adopted and ask them what challenges did they experience or are they likely to experience. Then you could even talk to the agency people, you could talk to the counselors who can tell you. See, the idea is don't leave any question unanswered. If you have explored that, if you have answered them, then you are better prepared for adoption. As you very rightly said, it's not an easy thing. It's a long process. Not only getting the child, normally movies में जो दिखाते हैं ना, आप गए और 10-12 बच्चे आपके सामने खड़े हुए हैं और आप उसमें से चुन लेते हैं किसी पालने में से उठा के, that is not the reality. There's a long queue to adopt, isn't it? The process for registration is very long and very stringent, as Dr. Daksha has very clearly explained. And at the same time, the process even after adopting is not easy. It requires a lot of working on it.
जी जी। दक्षा मैम, एक कंसर्न जो आती है, जो सवाल अडॉप्टिव पेरेंट्स में आता है कि हम अडॉप्ट तो कर लेते हैं लेकिन हम अडॉप्ट करना चाहते हैं लेकिन अडॉप्टेड चाइल्ड के राइट्स क्या हो, ये कंसर्न होती है। अगर आप मैम इसके बारे में बता सकें कि लीगली एक अडॉप्टेड चाइल्ड के राइट्स क्या होते हैं।
See, basically, it has been provided in both the legislations as to what are the rights available to an adopted child. First, if we talk about Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act 1956, Section 12 clearly mentions the effect of adoption. It clearly says that adoptive child will be equivalent to the biological child in all the respect. There are two exceptions to this. First one is that after adoption, the marriage related provision will continue to prevail, like adopted child cannot marry in his original family. And the second one is that the second one relates to the property rights. The property which continues to vest in the adoptive child prior to adoption will continue to vest in him, so property rights will not be disturbed. And secondly, like in adoptive family, the adopted child will not divest anyone of their state in the adoptive family. So these are the property rights. So we see that adoptive child is treated equivalent as the biological child by the adoptive parents. So there is no question of discrimination as far as the legal rights provided to adopted children are concerned. So this is as per Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act. Next we see JJ Act 2015. So section 63 clearly repeats the same provision as that of Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act. However, it is silent on the issue of marriage. So under JJ Act also, adoptive child will have the same rights as that of the biological child. And after adoption, all the ties from the original family, from the birth family, will stand severed, and the adoptive child will be transplanted. I'll use the word transplanted because he will be shifted from biological family to the adoptive family with all the property rights. So these are the rights available to the adopted child.
थैंक यू मैम। ममता मैम, मैं आपसे ये सवाल करूंगी क्योंकि आपका काफी एक्सपीरियंस रह चुका है। आप JJBs में भी आपने काम किया है, CWC, और आप DSC PCR में भी आप काम कर चुकी हैं, तो आपका एक्सपीरियंस बहुत वेरिड है। मैम, जो अडॉप्शन का प्रोसीजर है ये उन्होंने बहुत एक्सटेंसिव बनाया हुआ है इन कंट्री एंड इंटर कंट्री, लेकिन इसको इम्प्लीमेंट करने में काफी दिक्कत होती है। तो मैम अगर आप हमें थोड़ा इंसाइट दे सकें कि व्हाट आर द चैलेंजेस जो जुवेनाइल जस्टिस एक्ट के अंदर जो अडॉप्शन प्रोसीजर है उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करने में कौन कौन से चैलेंजेस आते हैं?
देखिए, सीडब्ल्यूसी के प्रोस्पेक्टिव से जब आप देखते हैं कि बच्चे को सीडब्ल्यूसी हैज टू डिक्लेयर द चाइल्ड लीगली फ्री फॉर अडॉप्शन, दैट इट इन सेल्फ इज नॉट एन ईजी प्रोसेस because there are very several stakeholders which are there. Supposing it has to be done within 3 months of 60 days, things take many times years also to get like supposing I remember there was a child who was relinquished by the mother, and then the child came to us and we placed her in a in a home where the child was being looked after. She was only 2 years old when she came to us, but what happened is then we we put it in the papers, we put it in the it was broadcasted in the radio. There were that somebody comes forward for this child, but nobody came, and it was nearly 6 months. Though the period is that within 2 months you have to hurry it up and do it, but because this child was relinquished, and somewhere there was a hope that maybe the biological parent comes, and as biological family is the best family for the child. It is in the best interest of the child, and when children are surrendered or when they when they are abandoned, then this comes in that they have to be placed in adoption. So you won't believe that then after 6 months, after doing everything, we legally freed the child for adoption. And as luck would have it, after just 2 days, one father walks in and says that this is my child. And I don't know, my wife ran away with someone, and so she relinquished this child, but usme mera koi wo nahi tha. So I said, no, let's take out the documents. We took out the documents, we saw that the mother had said that the father had died. Okay. So that was another aspect. We had also written to the SHO of that area to find out what was the status. They wrote back that, we don't have any, everything seems to be all right because there is nothing which has been reported like this. So we are, kind of open-ended on this. Then what happened is that we and the home had already spoken to some parents about that child. It was a very, very, looking wise also. See, we do not have to see looks and creed, caste, color of the child. But in that case, just to say that the child was a very, very cute looking child. So the, adoption agencies used to tell us that, ma'am, isko bahut mangte hain. Jo bhi aata hai, isko bahut mangta hai. Aise karke. So we used to say that, we cannot hurry up anything because still things are in the process. And that was such a difficult situation for CWC. So what we did a home study of the father. Then we got to know that वो एक रैन बसेरे में रहता था दिल्ली में. Raiन Basera is a place where, people who have no homes are staying there. And there, when we, where he was staying, we did a study report and everything. We got to see that he himself was into drugs. He was an alcoholic. He was living with some 20-30 people in a very, very dingy kind of a manner. So I told the father, then we as CWC told the father that, we cannot give the child to you in this condition. So we have to see, we will wait and see how you improve your condition. So see that these things are very critical, and I don't think so many people would have heard of such stories. But we have actually worked on the grassroots. So we actually withheld the adoption in that case. You cannot, knowing that there is a biological father who wants a child back, however he would be, we cannot just sever ties with him and give the child in adoption. So when we are legally freeing the child for adoption, there are a lot of things which come. The reports from the police don't come on time. The newspapers, the Department of Women and Child, when they are supposed to put on the ads and all, the state has to do its duties to see whether there are some claimant of the child. That takes a long time. I'm sure Induji would have experienced this. I remember Matri Chaya was under me when I was in the Child Welfare Committee for nearly 6 years. So I remember that also. So these, it is a very very critical process, adoption. And we are dealing with a human being. We are dealing with a child. We are dealing with parents who have undergone a lot of stress before they adopt, So I think, and then medical of children. Many times, I remember there was a case where children were returned back because of a medical. The medical was not properly conducted by the agency. So the child was a slow learner. So the parents took the child for 3-4 months and pre-adopted foster care, and then they returned back the child that we cannot handle this child because this child is too slow. And on record, the child was absolutely all right. So there's additional things one has to do again. So everything to be checked, and that is a very important aspect of it. Then, as said, verification by the DCPU, the SARA, the CARA, everyone together in understanding how adoption, the home study reports, are they genuine or not? Many times, I remember there was a case where we did a home study of the parent, and he was living in a very good society and all. And then after, I said that delays do happen. And after 6 months, when we went to find that parent, because we got a CARA that, if you can just locate this, they had sent it to everybody because there was a problem in, actually finding out what was the status of the parent. Somewhere there was a conflict. So when we started looking for it, then you won't believe we found that parent, that he was not from a social background which he had written where he was from. So that was another thing which was a great thing. We cannot give a child to a parent who cannot sustain himself. It is a child, he has to look after the child. So there is a certain criteria under which we can give. As Dakshaji was also explaining that why home study things are done. So these challenges are too many, I think, So these are the main challenges which I actually looked into when I was in the CWC. And then there was a huge line of children, and inter-country adoptions were more than in-country. That was a very big problem also. Because at that time in 2007, 8 or 9, there were no proper reports maintained by CARA. There was nothing which was really, now everything is online and things are more transparent. That time there were lots of things which were undercover, and it was a great concern. And illegal adoption was on the rise during that time, 2007 to 10. I would say, like, we actually did a lot of inspections and in fact closed some 2 homes in Delhi, which were illegally, keeping children, not doing adoption as such, but keeping children. And then finally, children are kept in these homes only, and finally they are, registered adoption agencies. So that mainly that was the thing, Vani, which were very critical points.
मैम आपने बहुत important points बताए हैं that as a child को protect करने में काफी दिक्कतें आती हैं, and it is always important कि आप बच्चे के नजरिए से देखें जो प्रोसेस है, and उसको प्रोटेक्ट करना ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है. Adoption is only there to protect the child and ensure कि उसकी social development हो. तो थैंक यू मैम, आपने बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट चैलेंजेस बताए हैं जिसके बारे में, इसके रेजोल्यूशंस भी हम आगे, एक सवाल है मैं आपसे पूछूंगी इसको कैसे रिजॉल्व कर सकते हैं. उससे पहले मैम मैं इंदु मैम से आपसे पूछना चाहूंगी मैम कि एक बार अडॉप्शन का प्रोसेस कंप्लीट करने के बाद आई थिंक बहुत सारे challenges आते हैं एक perspective एक adopted child के लिए और उसके parents के लिए. And मैम ये challenges पहले पता होना बहुत जरूरी होता है to take the decision कि adoption के लिए हम ready हैं कि नहीं. तो मैम अगर आप वो challenges के बारे में हमें बता सके कि आफ्टर अडॉप्शन क्या चैलेंजेस एक पेरेंट फेस कर सकते हैं.
Vani, I think as such, being a parent, be it a parent of a biological child or an adopted child, there is a very drastic change in the lifestyle. और जब आप बच्चा अडॉप्ट करते हैं तो probably you are somewhere prepared and somewhere not prepared for it, because both the things are very conflicting. There's a great change in the lifestyle. अगर आप पहला जैसे बच्चा है और अगर आप ले रहे हैं, अभी तक आप एक इंडिपेंडेंट लाइफ लीड कर रहे थे, कोई बच्चे की जिम्मेदारी नहीं थी, यू आर अ फ्री बर्ड, अपने हिसाब से आना जाना जो भी करना आप कर सकते हैं. बट वंस यू हैव अ चाइल्ड एट होम, so it brings lot of responsibility on you. बच्चे का वेलफेयर देखना, सेफ्टी देखना, हेल्थ देखना, एजुकेशन देखना, so all that has to be kept in the center stage when you are designing your life. रूल्स और रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज में बहुत चेंज आ जाता है. जैसे हस्बैंड और वाइफ बहुत शायद फ्री लाइफ लीड कर रहे हो, बट बच्चा आने से यू आर नाउ मदर एंड फादर, सो यू नो द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज द मदर एंड द फादर वुड हैव. एज अ रिजल्ट बहुत बार ये भी होता है कि आपस में जो टाइम हस्बैंड वाइफ दे रहे होते हैं एक दूसरे को, वो टाइम भी उनका थोड़ा कम हो जाता है, बिकॉज नाउ वट एवर टाइम दे हैव अवेलेबल दे ट्राई टू गिव टू देयर चाइल्ड. तो देर इज लेस टाइम फॉर फॉर ईच अदर, अटेंशन भी डाइवर्ट हो जाती है, स्पेशली इफ यू आर वेरी एक्साइटेड अबाउट इट. तो उस वक्त आपका सारा जो प्लान ऑफ एक्शन है वो चाइल्ड को सेंटर स्टेज में रखकर होता है. तो एज अ रिजल्ट लॉट ऑफ योर ओन पर्सनल प्रायोरिटीज गेट sacrificed, or they take a back position. बहुत बारी you don't even are left with enough time and energy for yourself, which is actually taxing. I remember I used to always tell parents कि ये जो आपके घर में मेहमान आ रहा है, ये मेहमान कुछ दिनों के लिए नहीं आ रहा है, ये हमेशा के लिए आ रहा है. So don't be too excited or overwhelmed with the idea that you are going to get the child. और as a result मैंने देखा है कि मदर्स जैसे कहेंगी नहीं, अब कोई आवाज नहीं करेगा, अब कोई शोर नहीं करेगा, अब कोई टीवी नहीं चलेगा, अब कोई बात नहीं करेगा, बच्चे के सोने का टाइम है. So when you put all these kind of restrictions, the whole home environment gets disturbed. Sometimes even the family may not cooperate with you. If you are especially in a joint family kind of a setup, you may want to bring changes, but not everybody will cooperate as per your this thing. जो यूजुअल पेरेंटिंग कंसर्न है वो भी यहाँ पर आते हैं. उनका इवन पेरेंटिंग स्टाइल में भी डिफरेंस हो सकता है, हस्बैंड वाइफ के बीच में या इन लॉज और लड़की के बीच में वो भी फर्क हो सकता है. ऑल्सो समटाइम्स यू आर नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड चाइल्ड्स बिहेवियर, क्योंकि कभी बच्चा रो सकता है, कभी हंस सकता है, कभी आपका कहना मान सकता है, कभी नहीं मान सकता. एंड इट इज नॉट अ न्यू बॉर्न चाइल्ड दैट यू गेट, एज वेरी राइटली सेड बाय ममता मैम कि 6 महीने से 6 साल भी लग जाते हैं एडॉप्शन में, है ना. तो अगर 6 साल का बच्चा या 3 साल का बच्चा या 2 साल का बच्चा अगर आपके पास आता है, तो चाइल्ड हैज ऑलरेडी डेवलप्ड सर्टेन बिहेवियरल पैटर्न्स which may not be really very right according to you. क्योंकि बच्चा जब एक परिवार में पलता है और एक अडॉप्शन सेंटर में पलता है तो बहुत फर्क होता है. So there the child learns how to survive in the environment. So child may take a lot of time to get used to your home environment. Plus उसकी हो सकता है वहां पर ऑलरेडी किसी के साथ अटैचमेंट हो, जैसे केयर टेकर्स के साथ उनकी अटैचमेंट होती है. अब उसे छोड़कर अगर वो आपके घर में आता है तो child might take time to even get used to your way of handling. So that itself can be a problem. Also, as I said, financial burden हो सकता है, you are not ready for it. जैसे मैम ने अभी बताया कि they found the child to be slow learner, so they immediately must have thought कि अरे ये तो एक एडिशनल जिम्मेदारी हो जाएगी. अगर बच्चा अगर मेंटल रिटार्डेशन है या मेंटली चैलेंज है बच्चा, तो उसकी लर्निंग प्रोसेस दिक्कत होगी, पढ़ाई में दिक्कत होगी. चाइल्ड विल नॉट बी एबल टू इकोनॉमिकली बिकम इंडिपेंडेंट इन द टाइम टू कम. सो पेरेंट्स में फियर दिस रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. अब अगर बायोलॉजिकल बच्चा होता है तो यू कैन डिसोन. तो यहाँ पर पीपल एक्सरसाइज दैट राइट कि ठीक है, अगर मुझे लग रहा है कि आई कांट हैंडल इट, सो गिविंग सम रीजन और they might actually give back the child. So sometimes you're not even able to adjust with the role and responsibility. You're too नाइफ फॉर इट और यू आर नॉट रेडी फॉर इट। तो बहुत बारी ऐसे भी पेरेंट्स मेरे पास आया करते थे कि जिन्होंने ले तो लिया जिम्मेदारी, बट देन दे आर नॉट एबल टू हैंडल। ये तो सारी रात जागता है बच्चा, ये तो रात को उठ के कुछ खाने को देना पड़ता है, मैं तो सुबह से बहुत थकी हुई होती हूँ, मेरे से तो रात को उठा नहीं जाता, मैम ये तो बहुत सारा दिन बच्चा भागता है, ये तो हाइपर एक्टिव है, मेरे पास तो काम ही मतलब टाइम ही नहीं होता इसको। सो दीज थिंग्स may be too overwhelming for the parents who have adopted, so they may find it as a challenge. फिर बहुत बारी इसमें सोशल एस्पेक्ट भी आ जाता है, जैसे फैमिली की तरफ से अगर कॉपरेशन नहीं मिलता या उनकी तरफ से दे काइंड ऑफ रिजेक्ट द चाइल्ड, तो पेरेंट्स के लिए ये भी एक मेंटल ट्रॉमा होता है। सोशल सिचुएशन में, सोशल फंक्शंस में लेके जाने में पेरेंट्स को कई बारी एम्बेरसमेंट भी होती है, बिकॉज दे डोंट नो हाउ टू डील विद इट, they don't know how to answer back, they don't know how to quieten the people who ask them, अच्छा ये बच्चा आपने गोद लिया है, कहाँ से लिया है, कितने दिन का है, कुछ पता है इसके पेरेंट्स का? So you are not comfortable answering these questions, you don't know how to handle this question, so that itself can be a dilemma for the parents कि how do we go around with this child in the social situation। बहुत बारी अगर बच्चे का कलर कॉम्प्लेक्शन आपसे नहीं मिल रहा, अपीयरेंस आपसे नहीं मिल रही, बिल्कुल एकदम देखने में आपसे अलग लग रहा है, पेरेंट्स के लिए ये भी एक बहुत बड़ा एक कंसर्न हो जाता है कि ये तो देखने में पता लग रहा है कि ये हमारा बायोलॉजिकल बच्चा नहीं है। ऑल्सो 10 में से 9 पेरेंट्स से जब मैं पूछती थी कि वुड यू लाइक टू इन्फॉर्म योर चाइल्ड दैट वी हैव अडॉप्टेड यू, तो उनका पहला जवाब ये होता था नो, एक्सेप्ट 1 out of 10 would say हाँ, I would like to inform the child। 90% of the parents would say no, we don't want to। इवन वो तो अपने नेबरहुड में, अपनी फैमिली में, अपने इवन इमीडिएट फैमिली मेंबर्स को भी कई बार वो नहीं बताना चाहते हैं कि वी आर अडॉप्टिंग द चाइल्ड। सो दैट मीन्स समवेयर इन द बैकग्राउंड देयर इज अ डिनायल, और जहाँ डिनायल है वहाँ एक्सेप्टेंस, रिस्पेक्ट और एक जो ट्रू जो रिलेशनशिप है वो बनने में बहुत टाइम लगता है। So that itself can be challenging, for the parents to handle it। So स्कूल में जाकर कई बारी they're confused, टीचर को बताएं कि नहीं बताएं, और बताने में भी नुकसान है और ना बताने में भी नुकसान है। So these are the challenges they face when they adopt the child।
मैम इसमें हम अभी तक जितनी भी हमने बातें की हैं वो हम जो पर्सपेक्टिव है वो जो पेरेंट है उनके पर्सपेक्टिव से हम देख रहे हैं ये प्रोसेस। ममता मैम ने कहा था कि बच्चों के पर्सपेक्टिव से देखना चाहिए, उनका वेलफेयर सबसे ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है। तो मैम जो अडॉप्टेड जो पर्सपेक्टिव अडॉप्शन के लिए जो चाइल्ड है उसके लिए, उसके पर्सपेक्टिव से आप अगर हमें बता पाएं, कोई इंसाइट दे पाएं कि उस बच्चे की नीड्स क्या हो सकती हैं, कि उस बच्चे को क्या लग रहा होगा और उसको कैसे समझा जाए उस बच्चे की नीड्स को।
मेरे ख्याल से वानी सबसे बड़ी बात तो ये है कि इन द होल प्रोसेस ऑफ अडॉप्शन, considering the age of the child actually has no say to change anything। Child is a kind of a more like a mute spectator, although all care is taken, therefore there are laws, there are regulations, there are guidelines, there are proper protocols and procedures that are being followed। I'm glad that Kara has taken the responsibility of centralized registration, so that the child's welfare is primary and it's looked after। But at the same time, once the child is growing up, probably child's perspective to adoption has to be developed in a very positive sense। So what I would say here, actually you as a parent or anybody as a parent who is adopting the child, your perspective gets reflected in your child's perspective। If you are doubtful, if you are confused, if you are sad about it, if you are resentful about adoption, trust me, whether you want or not, this is going to be reflected in the child's mind and in the child's behavior। So मैं हमेशा पेरेंट्स को ये कहकर तैयार करती थी जब मेरे पास वो लोग आते थे कि फर्स्ट यू हैव टू बी प्राउड ऑफ योरसेल्फ, फर्स्ट यू हैव टू बी हैप्पी अबाउट योर डिसीजन, फर्स्ट यू हैव टू बी रेडी फॉर द डिसीजन। क्योंकि जब भी ये सवाल आपसे पूछा जाएगा आप कैसे हैंडल करेंगे, बच्चा आपको नोइंगली अननोइंगली ऑब्जर्व करेगा। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आप किसी सोशल गैदरिंग में गए और किसी ने अचानक पूछ लिया कि अच्छा ये वो बच्चा है जो आपने अडॉप्ट करा था, एंड यू से हाँ जी, हाँ हमने ये बच्चा अडॉप्ट करता है, एंड इफ योर फेशियल एक्सप्रेशंस आर सैड और शाई और ashamed or guilt, trust me, this is what the child is going to pick up। And if you say yes, but doesn't make a difference, now this child is mine, so forget about past, talk about today, and you end the conversation there। So what you are doing, you are replying but you are very clearly asserting, do not cross your line. Don't ask me any more questions beyond it. And in case if they try to embarrass you, I mean, you have all the right to say, please don't talk all this in front of the child. You are hurting the child or you are insulting the child. So that means parents have to learn to draw the line. And this priming has to be done by the agency, I think. We as counselor, we as psychologists should be able to instill this thought process in the child. Don't be ashamed of, adopting. Don't be sorry about adopting. People have medical issues. People have health conditions, and they may not conceive. It's all right. And I would always tell them that develop this perspective in your child. Make the whole process of adoption so beautiful for the child, saying that you belonged to me, you had to come to me. The God designed this mechanism. I could not conceive you because of my health condition. God planned it this way that you were born to somebody else, but you were bound to come to me, and therefore you are with me. Now imagine the perspective you have given to your child. When you put these thoughts in your child's mind, child will automatically live with pride, will be very comfortable saying, yes, I'm adopted child. So what? Doesn't make a difference. So I think somewhere as parents, we have to give that thought process. And they are like, you can teach anything that you want. है ना, ऐसा ही कहते हैं ना, बच्चे तो कच्ची मिट्टी होते हैं, आप जैसे मर्जी उसको ढाल सकते हैं. So instill these thoughts right from the beginning, and then you see the impact. I remember I used to give them an example of Krishna, Lord Krishna. I mean, this was a very regular way of telling them. मुझसे पूछते थे कि कैसे बताएं कि हमने adopt किया है. तो मैं कहती थी कि take them to adoption center, go in the adoption center, look after kids, give them something so that they learn to respect this service. And also, you can talk about stories like Lord Krishna and how he was looked after by Yashoda, though she was not biological mother. But does anybody remember the biological mother of Krishna? No. It's always Yashoda. It's always Yashoda. It will always be Yashoda. So this is how I used to always tell them, that glorify the whole process of adoption. Child should feel proud of what has happened and not feel sorry or ashamed. So that perspective has to be developed, has to be nurtured. This is what I used to always talk.
थैंक यू मैम, आपने बहुत ही आपने एक पर्सपेक्टिव भी बताया है एंड उसके सॉल्यूशंस भी बताए हैं. थैंक यू सो मच मैम. दक्षा मैम, जब हम अडॉप्शन के बारे में बात करते हैं तो कई बार ये अडॉप्शन प्रोसेस को कंफ्यूज कर दिया जाता है फॉस्टर केयर सिस्टम के साथ. तो मैम, अगर आप हमें बता सकें कि फॉस्टर केयर एंड अडॉप्शन कैसे अलग है एक दूसरे से.
Okay, so I'll give you the answer in very short. So basically, there are 2 points which differentiates foster care from adoption system. The first one is permanency, and the second one is parental rights. So as far as foster care process is concerned, it is not a permanent process. It is just a temporary shift. So in foster care, child is temporarily shifted to the foster family, and where an alternative system or care is provided by the foster parents to the child. Whereas in case of adoption, it is taking, as the esteemed panelists have already mentioned, that adoption process signifies taking off all the responsibilities relating to health, relating to education, relating to other medical requirements of the child. So it is taking all the responsibilities of the child altogether. Whereas in foster care, it is only the temporary shift of the child in the foster family. I have come across cases where in foster care, foster parents have not even given the right to decide as to in which school the child will go, or which medical facility has to be availed of for the care of child. So these are the cases of foster family. So secondly, the most important thing is parental rights. In case of adoption, parental rights are given to the adoptive parents. So as I've already mentioned, that adoptive child is equivalent to a biological child in the legal system of adoption, whereas in foster care, whereas in foster care, foster child is not equivalent to the biological child. So it is legalized also in section 44 of the Juvenile Justice Act 2015 clearly mentions about the foster care as the alternative arrangement in the foster family system, and it is provided for the care and growth of the child. So these are the two important differences. First is from the permanency point of view, and the second one is from the parental rights point of view.
मैम, ये आपने बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट बात कही है. Foster care can be part of the adoptive process, where the child may be kept in foster care, but foster care is not adoption. This should be very clear. These are two very separate. ये बहुत ही दो अलग-अलग procedures हैं. Foster care अलग है और adoption का process अलग है. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
ममता मैम, आपने जैसे पहले हमें बताया कि बच्चों को रिटर्न कर दिया जाता है, और इसके बारे में इंदु मैम ने भी बात की है. अगर आप हमें बता सकें कि जो रिटर्न चाइल्ड है उसके क्या चैलेंजेस होते हैं, क्योंकि एक बार बच्चे को किसी ने अडॉप्ट कर लिया, उसके बाद अगर रिटर्न करते हैं तो उस बच्चे पे काफी इम्पैक्ट पड़ता है. तो अगर आप थोड़ी इंसाइट दे सकें उस बारे में.
देखिए, जो बच्चा वापस आता है अडॉप्शन से, एक तो कहीं ना कहीं वो बड़ा ट्रॉमेटाइज्ड होता है. कहीं ना कहीं एक बार आपने उसकी काउंसलिंग करी होती है कि आपको वहां जाके एडजस्ट करना है. अगर बच्चा बड़ा है थोड़ा, अगर न्यूबॉर्न है तो अलग बात है. तो जब वो न्यूबॉर्न बच्चे वापस आते हैं तो इतना इम्पैक्ट अभी समझ में नहीं आता हम लोग को. मगर जब थोड़े बड़े बच्चे जाते हैं और वो वापस आते हैं तो उनमें बहुत प्रॉब्लम्स आती हैं. जैसे एक हीन भावना आती है. दे आर नॉट कॉन्फिडेंट अबाउट देमसेल्व्स. दे अंडरगो अ ट्रॉमा दैट दे आर नॉट वांटेड. दे अंडरगो अ ट्रॉमा दैट जब आप भेज रहे होते हो बच्चों को तो आप उसको बोलते हो कि तुमको वहां अच्छी सी लाइफ मिलेगी, तुम वहां स्कूल जाओगे, तुमको मम्मी पापा का प्यार मिलेगा जो यहाँ नहीं मिल रहा था. वहां जाता है बच्चा तो वो बड़ा डिसहार्टन होके आता है. तो इसका लॉन्ग टर्म इफेक्ट बहुत ज्यादा होता है बच्चे के ऊपर. तो ऐसे केसेस में बच्चों की कांस्टेंट काउंसलिंग बहुत जरूरी है. कांस्टेंट काउंसलिंग जरूरी है. और जैसे कुछ एजेंसीज में मैंने देखा जहां बच्चे रहते हैं कि ग्रुप काउंसलिंग कर देते थे. तो ऐसे बच्चों को ना पर्सनलाइज्ड काउंसलिंग की जरूरत पड़ती है. वो so that when they see the spirit of JJ is social reintegration of a child. Okay, so and we do not have to give these traumas to children. It is very important for the agency, for the child welfare committee, because then the child comes back to you again and he's again staying in the home and he's again in the care of the child welfare committee. चाइल्ड वेलफेयर कमिटी के सामने बच्चे हर 15 दिन में या 1 महीने में प्रोड्यूस होते हैं या क्वार्टरली तो होते ही होते हैं. मगर जनरली चाइल्ड वेलफेयर कमिटीज आर वेरी प्रोएक्टिव. They themselves go to the institutions and look into where adoptive वाले बच्चे रहते हैं. They themselves go into these homes and they look into that why, how the children are behaving, क्या problems आ रही हैं. मेडिकल रिपोर्ट, देखिए, जो मेडिकल रिपोर्ट के कारण जो बच्चा आता है उसमें तो मुझे लगता है कि 2-3 तरह से मेडिकल रिपोर्ट, एक मेडिकल रिपोर्ट शुड नॉट बी सफिशिएंट. I remember when I was in the child welfare committee, I would insist on 2-3 reports और एक गवर्नमेंट रिपोर्ट तो जरूर होनी चाहिए. बिकॉज देन हमने एक केस में ये भी देखा था कि एक पूरा मैन्युपुलेटेड था वो, कि बच्चा मेंटली in that case was mentally challenged, but the report which we got was that the child is fine. So then when we went to see the child, when we visited the agency as a child welfare committee, we saw that the child was not looking normal. So in that case, we said that we have to look after. नहीं मैम, ये तो देखिए रिपोर्ट एकदम ठीक है इसकी और जल्दी से इसको प्लेस करना है और इसके लिए तो 10 लोग आ गए हैं. बिल्कुल, देखिए, जो इंटर कंट्री अडॉप्शन होते हैं उसमें they don't mind many times teaching mentally challenged children also. I think Indu ji will agree with me on that. ज्यादातर इंटर कंट्री adoptions में if the child is I remember placing blind children also. I remember placing mentally challenged children also. So but their adoption in my view is more critical, because then the child is in front of us and he is in this state. We can ensure a lot of things, but when the child goes abroad, then how are we following it up? During the time of 2008 to 2000, nearly 13, 14, I think, there was not a good way of monitoring these children. So the traumas that way were very, very critical. And I would say that a child who's returned back places so much of trauma that regular counseling of the child, then child की esteem बढ़ाने, child को school में भेजना, because वो बड़ा भी हो गया है अब, और वो उसको how are we going to socially reintegrate the child? पूरा child care plan under JJ जो बनता है वो बनना चाहिए. जो प्रोबेशन ऑफिसर्स हैं उनको बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ती है. So this is a very complicated process and it is a very sad thing if it happens with a child.
जी दक्षा मैम, आपने काफी काम किया है इन इंटर कंट्री अडॉप्शन के ऊपर. मैम, जो आपने रिसर्च की है उसमें अगर आप हमारी अपनी रिसर्च के बारे में हमें थोड़ा बता सकें.
Okay, so as I've already stated, that two types of adoptions are available. Two types of legislations are there. First one is HAMA 1956 and second one is JJ Act 2015. So I have made few suggestions to both the acts. But prior to that, I would like to share the statistics of adoption as per Central Adoption Resource Authority. So we see that from 2018 to 2019, around 3,374 children have been given in country adoption, and for inter-country adoption, 653 children were placed. So this is the statistics available on the CARA website, which I wanted to share with the audience. So next I move on the suggestions part. So first one is suggestions under Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act. The first one is that under HAMA, the child to be adopted shall be Hindu only. So people, children of no other religion can be adopted under this act. Second one is that if a child has been abandoned by his father and mother, it is necessary that irrespective of whether the child is legitimate or illegitimate, both the parents will have to abandon. So in cases wherein the child is abandoned, and in cases if it is not possible to trace the illegitimate father of the child, so under these things, these circumstances, it becomes impossible for the child to become readily available for adoption. Then the third one is the jurisdiction of the court. The court does not have jurisdiction in all the cases as discussed under Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act. If the adoption is to be made by the guardian, then only the court can exercise its jurisdiction. Then fourth one, specialized courts and adoption cells in the family court should be developed for the process of adoption. Then wishes of the child, consent of the child, desire of the child should be taken into care, should be taken into consideration while making this process happen. The age requirement under section 10 is also that children children above 15 years of age cannot be adopted. So suppose if a minor child wants to be adopted when he is below 18 but above 15 years of age, so he cannot be adopted under Hindu Adoption Act. Then seventh one is that there is discrimination between a father or mother continuing to be a Hindu and a father or mother ceasing to be a Hindu under section 9 of the Act. Then we have same and equal rights for adoptive mother and adoptive father should be there. Then Hindu parent ceasing to be a Hindu shall be entitled to act as the natural guardian, and presently it is not happening. Then the definition of child also varies under Hindu Adoption Act, under Guardians and Wards Act, and under JJ Act. So under Hindu Adoption Act, a child should not be older than 15 years. Under Guardians and Wards Act, he should not be older than 18 years. And if he is court of ward, then he should not be of more than 21 years of age. And under JJ Act, he should not be more than 18 years of age. Then next one, discrimination against the adoptive child should be made punishable. Presently, there is no provision with respect to discrimination of the adoptive child. Then we have adoption by unmarried persons, widow and divorcee, and their subsequent marriage. In such cases of subsequent marriage, the spouse will be called as a step parent and not as the adoptive parent. So this position should be considered while making amendment to the said act. Then we have adoption must be under the supervision of the court. So presently we see under Hindu Adoption Act, adoption deed is to be signed, giving and taking ceremony of the child is to be performed. So not all the cases are coming under the supervision of the court. So it should come under the supervision of court as well. Then consent of a non-Hindu wife for giving the child in adoption should be taken. Presently, law is not very clear about it. Then Hindu female may have plurality of adopted sons and daughters, and we should remove this anomaly of the situation. Then next one, right to adopt of a widowed mother-in-law should be there even in the presence of a widowed daughter-in-law. Convert parents should not be deprived of parent right over the child. Then custom surpasses the age limit restriction for adoption. So as we have discussed that even a married child can be taken in adoption under Hindu Adoption Act if there is custom prevalent in the society. So if there is a custom in the community, then such customs should not be encouraged, because married children have their own life, they have their own psychology, and it might not match with the adoptive parents. So this will not lead to a smooth relationship between the adoptive child and the adoptive parent. Then we have unreasonable restrictive conditions in section 11 for adopting a son or daughter is present, and such conditions should be removed. Then no condition of age difference if a person wants to adopt a child of same sex. Registration of adoption should be made compulsory. Presently it is not. The cancellation of adoption may be permissible in the certain circumstances by the court. So under Hindu Adoption Act, we have a provision of cancellation of adoption, that once the adoption is made, it cannot be cancelled at all. But there are circumstances when the child is ill-treated by the family members. In such cases, the cancellation of adoption provision should be provided, and such cases should be covered by the court as well. Then there is controversy regarding the reservation benefits for the adoptive child, and it must be settled. An upper age limit must be fixed for the persons who want to adopt a child. Liberal financial help should be given by the government. So these are some of the suggestions for the improvement of Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act 1956. Now I'll quickly state the suggestions and changes to be made for the better functioning of the JJ Act 2015. The first one is inter-country adoption should be held with great caution, as it entails the possibility of child trafficking, child sexual harassment, child abuse, and sexual harassment of children. So inter-country adoption should be handled with great caution. Penal offences for the adoption agencies should be introduced if they are not following the adoption guidelines provided by CARA. Then licensing regime should be made stricter. Awareness program for the poor and needy women and parents should be provided so that they do not fall into the trap of touts. Expert counseling by the psychologists, social workers, and legal practitioners working in the field of adoption should be provided to the adoptive parents. Then bilateral ties with the receiving countries must be mandatorily checked before initiating the adoption process. Role of State Adoption Resource Authority should not be just of a rubber stamp. It should be raised over the role of CARA also. Financial transaction of any sort must be scrapped, and there should be no donation provided to the adoption agency. Child is not a commodity to be handled, but it is a responsibility of the state. So all the expenses which are there in the process of adoption should be borne by the state as per United Nations Convention on Rights of the Child 1989. Then there should be a provision for root search by the adoptive children, and it should be facilitated by CARA, and there should be a system under Ministry of Women and Child for providing root search facility for the adoptive child. Then post-adoption services should be a continuing one. Presently, as we have already discussed, that presently it is limited only for 2 years, so it should be beyond 2 years also. Adoption of children with special needs should be evaluated on a systematic and regular basis. Then adoption by same-sex couples and transgenders should also be encouraged. Presently, there is no provision for the adoption by same-sex couples, transgenders, or the people belonging to LGBTs. Then there should be informed consent of the child in all the stages of the adoption. So these are the few suggestions which I have given in JJ Act, and hopefully it should be incorporated in the present Act also, so as to make it more efficient and so that it should function for the welfare and the growth of the adoptive child.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing with us your research that you have done and also the suggestions that you have given. They are very comprehensive in nature, and I'm sure these will be taken forward, and जो भी आपके suggestions हैं उनको apply किया जाएगा, implementation को और efficient बनाया जाएगा. Daksha ma'am, thank you so much. Mamta ma'am, I would like to ask you, अगर आप कोई सॉल्यूशंस बता सकें, जैसे आपने हमें बताया क्या क्या दिक्कतें होती हैं इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में, अगर आपकी तरफ से आपको कुछ लगता है कि कोई सॉल्यूशन है तो अगर आप हमें बता सकें, और कोई मैसेज हो आपकी तरफ से हमारे ऑडियंस के लिए, तो दैट वुड बी ग्रेट.
तो देखिए, जैसे मैंने बताया CWC लीगली फ्री करती है बच्चों को, और उसमें भी काफी सारी दिक्कतें आती हैं. टाइम से रिपोर्ट्स नहीं आती, स्टेक होल्डर्स बहुत सारे हैं, जैसे अगर DCPU है, पुलिस है, WCD डिपार्टमेंट है, अडॉप्शन एजेंसी है, सबको मिलजुल के अगर काम करेंगे तभी ये पॉसिबल हो सकता है कि जल्दी हो सके. जो टाइम हम एक्ट में लिखा हुआ देखते हैं वो और एक्चुअल टाइम में बहुत ज्यादा डिफरेंस है. दो बेटर हुआ है, it has improved, but I think there is a lot of scope of improvement of that. And children should be followed up, as even Daksha ji said, कि follow up of children should be, I think, for minimum at least 5 years, if not more, because we do not know that when a disruption happens, and if we want to really see, many times parents अगर करना भी चाहते हैं, disrupt करना भी चाहते हैं adoption, तो अगर कहीं उनकी counseling facilities better होनी चाहिए, कहीं ऐसा होना चाहिए कि वो जाके अपनी बात कह सके, कोई इस तरह का कोई काउंसलिंग की कमिटी हो जहां वो जाके अपनी बात रख सके, उनको सॉल्यूशंस मिल सके. बिकॉज एक पेरेंट के लिए भी बच्चा वापस देना इज नॉट एन इजी थिंग. बच्चे के लिए तो बहुत ही हानिकारक है, मगर कहीं ना कहीं देखें, अगर जो कोऑर्डिनेशन एक पेरेंट के बीच में होता है, इंदु जी ने भी यही बताया कि बहुत सारी जगह मैंने देखा है कि जो मदर है वो बड़ी इंटरेस्टेड होती है अडॉप्शन में, मगर हस्बैंड नहीं होते हैं बहुत जगह. उनको ये लगता है कि एक और झंझट मेरे सिर पे आने वाला है और मैं कैसे इसको करूंगा. एंड आई रिमेम्बर वन हस्बैंड एक्चुअली इनफॉर्मली टेलिंग अस कि I know she is not capable of looking after a child because she does not look after the house. What will she look after a child? It's such a huge responsibility. And you won't believe, I told him that if she's so keen on taking a child into adoption, I'm sure that will improve her in every way. But then that is also a very big challenge. It is not easy, So I think in that case, the husband needed a lot of counseling because he was really undermining his wife somewhere. So I felt that, he needed to be also positive. And the woman was absolutely desperate to get a child. So when इतनी desperation होती है, तो कहीं ना कहीं जो मानसिक संतुलन उनका भी जो मदर थी उनका भी ठीक नहीं था कहीं ना कहीं. It is to be childless is not an easy thing to understand. It's not an easy thing to accept that you can't bear a child. So that's what I'm trying to say, that we should have somewhere a cell, maybe in the Kara or the Sara, where parents can come in with their problems and discuss about how they face adoption. देन प्रॉपर डिटेल्ड मेडिकल रिपोर्ट की बात मैंने करी थी कि जैसे डिस्ट्रप्शंस नहीं हो और एक्चुअली सच सच बताया जाए पेरेंट्स को जो अडॉप्ट करने वाले हैं कि बच्चे में क्या प्रॉब्लम है। इससे पेरेंट्स की काउंसलिंग भी अच्छी होगी और बच्चे को भी अच्छे से हमको काउंसलिंग करना पड़ेगा कि तुम्हारा चेंज होने वाला है, चेंज ऑफ सी बच्चे की जो मानसिकता है, जैसे 6 साल के या 7 साल के बच्चे से आप पूछते हो तो अगर कोई भी इसको चॉकलेट टॉफी देने को तैयार होता है, बच्चे डिप्राइव्ड कंडीशंस में हैं, तो उनको अच्छा लगता है। इस उम्र में भी हमको अप्रिसिएशन की जरूरत होती है। तो आप सोचिए जब वो बच्चा छोटा है तो कितनी जरूरत होती है उसको इस चीज की, यू नो, care, protection, love. These are inherent things which we all need. So, and when the child is growing up, he really needs that to so as he is adjusted well into the society. Where training of all stakeholders is very important, be it CWCs, be it DCPOs, be it the WCD department stakeholders, be it the agencies, adoption homes जो registered है, उनके जो स्टाफ होते हैं, तो इनकी ट्रेनिंग अडॉप्शन को लेके आई थिंक एवरी क्वार्टर कुछ ना कुछ होना चाहिए। इवन ऑनलाइन देखिए, अब कोविड टाइम्स में वी हैव कम टू नो दैट लॉट ऑफ ऑनलाइन trainings are as good. So somewhere if people cannot take up the time and come back, so 1 hour I'm sure they can quarterly they can take out, and so they have to understand where the laws are changing, how the rules are changing, what is the need. अगर एक इंटर कंट्री अडॉप्शन होने वाला है, जिस कंट्री में बच्चा जा रहा है वहां पे किस तरह का एनवायरनमेंट है, जो पेरेंट्स हैं वो किस तरह के हैं, तो ये सब की जरूरत बहुत मैं सोचती हूँ, मैं महसूस करती हूँ। फिर चाइल्ड की राइट्स throughout should have मतलब there is no other way but it has to be protected. Child rights should be protected throughout because our constitutions, our conventions which India has ratified, we all agree that the rights of a child are inherent and they have to be the children have to be absolutely looked after very well so that they become better citizens of our country. And many people say that children are the future of our country, but I always say that children are the present. If you do not improve the present, you cannot improve the future. So future तो अच्छा होगा ही अगर हमारा present हम कोशिश करके अच्छा बनाएंगे।
मैम आपने बहुत बहुत ब्यूटीफुली पुट किया मैम, एंड यही चीज हम भी अपने वेबिनार्स के थ्रू अब हमारे जो हमारी ऑडियंस है उनको समझाना चाहते हैं कि बच्चे जो हैं वो बहुत ही नाजुक होते हैं और उनको प्रोटेक्ट करना, वो उनकी आवाज सही जगह तक पहुंचाना और उनकी आवाज को और बुलंद करना, ये हमारी ड्यूटी है एज अडल्ट्स, एज पीपल ऑफ द सोसाइटी। इंदु जी, मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूंगी, आपने काफी अच्छी तरीके से एक्सप्लेन किया कि अडॉप्टिव जो प्रोसेस है उसमें पेरेंट्स को कैसे अपने आप को प्रिपेयर करना चाहिए। एक चीज जो आपने कही थी वो कही थी कि बहुत बार जो फैमिली है वही एक्सेप्ट नहीं करती। तो मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूंगी कि आपकी तरफ से आप क्या कहना चाहेंगी हमारी ऑडियंस को कि हम एज एन इंडिविजुअल कैसे इस प्रोसेस को, जो अडॉप्शन है, इसका स्टिग्मा हटा सकें, या वरना जो जिन्होंने अडॉप्ट किया है उनके लिए लाइफ और आसान कर सकें।
आई थिंक सबसे पहली बात तो ये है कि वी हैव टू बिकम यूज्ड टू द आइडिया ऑफ अडॉप्शन। अभी भी हम अडॉप्शन को जो है फिल्मी लेंस के थ्रू देखते हैं, तो वो वाले पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से जब आप देखते हैं तो देन यू विल हैव डाउट एंड रिजेक्शन एंड सम काइंड ऑफ something कि it's not normal and the child is not coming from a normal or a usual background, जबकि ऐसा नहीं होता। So सबसे पहली बात तो आई थिंक आई वुड टेल टू एवरीबडी, चाहे वो फैमिली है चाहे वो नेबरहुड भी है, बहुत बारी नेबरहुड से बहुत ऐसी रिएक्शन मिलती है। फिर जैसे बच्चा बाहर खेलने जाता है तो नेबर के जो बच्चे हैं उनसे उसको उस तरह से एक व्यवहार मिलता है कि जहाँ पर बच्चे उसको रियलाइज कराते हैं दैट यू आर not from a regular this thing side, और आप अडॉप्टेड है। फिर जब बच्चा स्कूल में जाता है तो बहुत बारी स्कूल टीचर्स या बाकी बच्चों की तरफ से भी बच्चे को इस तरह के सिग्नल्स दिए जाते हैं। I think one thing that we all have to learn is we have to learn to treat the child as equal. बिकॉज बहुत बारी और खास तौर पे ये देखा गया है कि परिवार में जब लोगों के बड़ों के बीच में कॉन्फ्लिक्ट होते हैं तो कई बारी वो अपने गुस्सा और नाराजगी निकालने के लिए भी बच्चे का मन जो है उसको करप्ट करने की कोशिश करते हैं, which has a very long, lasting impact on the child's mental health. So one thing that we have to remember is that we have to treat the child as equal and accept them and respect them for what they are. Also, we should not actually question them about adoption. बहुत बारी आपको पता है कि आप अडॉप्टेड हो, ये वाला सवाल बहुत बारी पेरेंट्स मतलब रिश्तेदार पूछ लेते हैं। अरे भाई है या नहीं, आपको इससे क्या लेना है? एंड इवन इफ द चाइल्ड नोज और नॉट, हाउ इज दैट गोइंग टू हेल्प यू? बट यू आर लिटरली डैमेजिंग द चाइल्ड्स मेंटल हेल्थ। आप किसी भी बच्चे को जब ये बात कहते हो, आई हैव सीन केसेस वेयर I mean, the girl was about to get married. Till her marriage age, she did not know that she was adopted. And unfortunately, one of the relatives, just to, I don't know, to hurt her or to do what, she mentioned it to this girl. This girl lost complete trust in the system and society and family as a structure. The damage she had was after marriage. She could not trust her husband and her in-laws family. But just imagine parents to whom she was considering as her biological parents, and suddenly at the age of 20, 22 years, you get to realize, oh, they are not your biological parents. Although, therefore, I always tell to the parents that you must disclose it at the right time. As early as 3 years, you must start bringing it to the child's knowledge that there are things like adoption and kids are adopted and it's all right to be adopted and there's nothing wrong in it. But as society, as you know, as people around the child, we don't have to embarrass the child or the parents by asking unnecessary question. मतलब हर एक के फटे में टांग अड़ाने की जरूरत नहीं है, थोड़ी शांति भी रखी जा सकती है. This is what I always tell them. If you have nothing to do with it, please keep shut. Don't destroy somebody's life. Plus बहुत बारी हम ना दया भाव दिखाते हैं. ओहो ये बच्चा adopted है. What the hell it is? Child doesn't want your sympathy. Respect and accept. That's all. कोई सिंपैथी दिखाने की जरूरत नहीं है. कोई वो नॉर्मल नहीं है. नॉर्मल हेल्दी चाइल्ड है. He will grow like you and me and will become, good in his life, provided we don't torture him unnecessarily. Immoral. Problem is we do a lot of torturing unnecessary. So we don't need to show any kind of sympathy. And also I think parents who are living in neighborhood and teachers, for them this is a message. You must make sure that nobody bullies this child. I've had cases where out of innocence parents have gone and disclosed to the teachers that the child is adopted, and teachers sometimes not being very careful, they disclosed it to other teachers and somehow the other students got to know. And then this child was bullied in the class by other classmates. So one, we have to be careful not to disclose child sensitive information unnecessary with somebody who has nothing to do with it. And second, in case even if it has come out in open, just be very, very firm and strict about it, not to let anybody bully the child, because it's going to affect child's mental health. So we all need to, remember, and especially for parents, I would say sometimes, out of anger, when they're very unhappy with the child's behavior or not okay with the child's performance or not okay about child's overall development, there's a possibility that out of anger they may remind the child that you're adopted, or they may even insult the child by saying that I don't know from where you have come and who your parents are. Never, never, never do this. I think there can be nothing more damaging than this dialogue that we can say to the child. It's a complete no. I think as parents we have to remember that we don't have to ever, if you are angry, move away from that situation. If you are not able to handle, please discuss between you, talk to somebody, talk to other parents, take help, but don't hurt the child and don't insult the child. I think this is something we have to always remember.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think at the end all we can say is कि कुछ रिश्ते भगवान बनाते हैं, कुछ रिश्ते हम बनाते हैं, और दोनों रिश्तों की उतनी ही रिस्पेक्ट करनी चाहिए. एंड बच्चे हैं और उनके राइट्स को प्रोटेक्ट करना हमारा ये हमारी एक ड्यूटी बनती है. थैंक यू सो मच ममता मैम, Daksha ma'am and Indu ji. ये बहुत ही insightful discussion था. I would like to present the vote of thanks. I would first like to thank our speakers. आप आए हमारे साथ, संडे को हमारे साथ आप जुड़े हैं, एंड आपने इतना अपने एक्सपीरियंस से जो भी आपने बताया, आई एम श्योर हमारी ऑडियंस बहुत ही एनरिच हुई होगी इस डिस्कशन से. I would like to thank Mrs. Jyoti Mujumdar, who is the president of Chetna, and Ms. Pragya Parande, founder of Chetna, उनके support and guidance के लिए. I want to, last but not the least, I like to thank everybody जो आज हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं. I hope हमने आपके adoption related procedure and उनकी queries को भी address किया है, and बाकी adoption से surrounding issues को भी address कर पाए हैं. अगर आप हमारे साथ कुछ शेयर करना चाहते हैं, आप हमें ईमेल कर सकते हैं chetnafordelhi@gmail.com. अगले संडे फिर आप हमारे साथ जुड़िए, हम एक और चाइल्ड राइट इशू को डिस्कस करेंगे. टिल देन, स्टे सेफ एंड गुड बाय.
Thank you.